What's going on, you guys? It's Tochi, dropping my first official video for today. Apologies for the sunglasses. It is quite bright out here, but I thought it was a really nice day to come to the roof. I don't really come to my apartment roof that often, but I was just appreciating it and how vast I can see almost the whole city here. And I really do need to kind of come up here more and enjoy it because I am paying a lot of money to live here. So I wanted to drop this video to create not only a New Year's resolution or kind of like a goal setting video for myself, but kind of like a video to keep myself accountable and a video that I can keep going back to kind of reviewing to see what I had set out for myself. In the last couple of years, I have created like New Year's resolutions and goals that I had for those years, but they were always very easily attainable goals, or they were too difficult to where I just fell off of them pretty quickly. So, what I did this year is that I put a little bit more effort into not only creating these goals for myself, but also a model and a system to kind of make sure that I'm following through with these goals as well. The actual goals that I have for myself are more or less based around consistency, and consistency is something that I want to be a little bit more dedicated to this year, not only for myself but for others to kind of benefit from as well. That is kind of what a lot of these goals that I have for myself are based around it. And to kind of share how I'm doing this, I actually have a app. I think it's the Microsoft version of the To Do app, and I'm a very task, checkbox type of person. So I know that since that works best with me, I'm going to actually have that in all the goals that I do have that I want to do on a day to day basis to make sure I build on that consistency, actually put into that app so I can actually make sure that I check it off when it's actually completed. Let's go ahead and just share some of these goals. The first goal that I have for myself is to become stronger with my faith in God. I was born into the church and I've been going to church since I can even remember, but I felt that I was kind of going to kind of go just because I was kind of, in a sense, forced to by my family. I have very strong religious ties in my family, but I felt that after a while I was kind of just going with the motions and not really putting my full effort towards it. And in these last couple of years, I've realized that that's really not only just a negative for me, but a negative for my loved ones and also the people that I want to be in relationships with. And I do believe in a higher power, and I've been telling myself that I want to like go to church more, listen to the word more. But I felt that I was never really following through with it, and it was really just all just talk. What I'm doing this year to kind of making sure that I follow through with it is that I actually just downloaded like a daily devotional scripture reading app, and it's not too long. It's very short and brief, but it is something that I can stay with to be consistent with. And so far it's been about 5 days into the year, and I have been pretty consistent with it. So every day that I've been on the treadmill for an hour, I just kind of open it up and either play the audio version or just read through it myself, and maybe read through it twice to kind of make sure that I get a full grasp and understanding. And then I try to discuss with my partner about it to kind of let her know what I actually learned for my scripture reading from that day. And I'm also even trying to, whether it's going in person or even virtually, listening to a sermon. And there's a bunch of churches in my area, and sometimes I do work on the weekends when those services are happening, but there are moments in time or moments during the days where I can like turn on that sermon and just kind of listen to the scripture or the word, or even like the song services. There's really no excuse for myself to not kind of deepen this connection with God, and I feel like that's the steps that I'm taking to kind of making sure that I follow through with it and actually deepen my connection with God this year. So that's one of the first goals that I wanted to do. The next step that I have is that I want to get a little bit more into journaling. This is something that I was actually doing quite a few years ago, but with school and with my new job, it was kind of hard to kind of stay consistent with it. I actually did buy a journal book a couple of years ago, and I noticed, I think it was in 2018 that I bought it because I wrote the date that I got it. And I almost had like maybe wrote me once or twice in that book. And this year I feel like I actually want to, write in that journal, whether it's just a page or half a page. It doesn't have to be too crazy, But I just want to write in there, what I'm reflecting on, how that week went. And, I feel like we leave day to day and often forget the moments that we're living in because, living in the US, it's a pretty fast paced society. And just kind of taking a moment at the end of the week and just writing in that journal book to kind of reflect what I went through that week is something that I really want to do just to kind of practice mindfulness. And then I also have the journaling app that's in my iPhone, and in there I'm just going to be doing daily entries of just small things that I'm reflecting on that day, and then things that I'm reading, whether it's the news or even like my scripture app that I just kind of mentioned before. I kind of want to summarize what I learned in that daily entry of the journal for that app. So that's something I want to try in as well. I have a daily version on the app, and then at the end of the week, kind of do kind of like an overall feeling of how I'm feeling that week. The next goal that I have for myself is also just being more aware of the news. Now, going to med school and getting into medicine, I'm kind of super hyper focused on just that goal. But the world is moving, and I feel like a lot of times a lot of conversations are happening about things that are just happening normally in the world. And I had this mindset of like, oh, I don't really care what's going on. I'm trying to stay in my lane, stay in my world. But I realize that's just not really a benefit for me, and I do need to be aware of the things that are going on in the world. So I do have like the Google News app or even like the Apple News app, and I've been reading just random things, whether it's headlines or even like things that are just recommended for me. And it doesn't have to be like 5-10 articles or 5-10 news articles, but I've been reading like 2 to 3 a day so far, and it's been kind of nice, kind of venturing out of my own world and seeing, whether it's like a political thing or whether it's news about science or health or just things related to the world as a whole. I've been finding it pretty beneficial for myself as well. The next goal that I have for myself is actually just being consistent with the gym. And this is something that I actually have been doing for the last couple of years. I was always kind of like an active guy playing basketball or baseball or volleyball, but I was never actually going into the physical gym, lifting weights, running on the treadmill. And I was always having this mindset of like, oh, I'm always in shape because I'm always playing sports. But I realized that when I hit med school and I was not able to do all of those things, it really took a hit on my mental health as well as my overall physical health as well. I remember I was in rounds one day on the cardiology service, and I just noticed I was just always going in and out of like feeling fatigued. And I realized that for a while I almost thought I had sleep apnea because I was having daytime fatigue, I was having headaches, I wasn't really sleeping well through the night. I know that I snore based on things that people have told me before, but I realized I just wasn't actually being active. And after I went to the gym and started working out consistently, all of those symptoms have really gone by the wayside. I really just want to stay consistent in the gym. I was previously going for vanity reasons, but now I feel like I'm actually going because one, I'm just used to it now, and then two, I just generally feel good after working out in the gym. So that's just something that I want to stay consistent with, moving into this year. The next thing that I want to do is take more time to reach out to my loved ones, not just via text, but via calls or FaceTime. Being in my new job, we are always texting on the phone and messaging people back and forth. And after a while, I just get sick and tired of texting people. So sometimes people will reach out to me via text, and I realize that I haven't responded in a couple of days. And I realize that's just not really the medium for me to reaching out or talking to people. So I want to actually be more conscientious about picking up the phone and just calling someone or even scheduling a FaceTime or a call. And I realize that I get a lot more out of those sessions as opposed to just texting, which oftentimes is just really meaningless and really nothing is really being discussed over text. You can't really get really into the nitty gritty and deep on those text messages, as I've learned in the past. That's something that I want to do as well, is just consistently reaching out to people, having FaceTime calls, having phone calls, and just, actually just talking and hearing that person's voice. The next thing, I am Nigerian first generation, Igbo tribe. I kind of grew up in the culture, but I want to take a little bit more of a vested input into actually learning and jumping deeper into my culture. Not only just with the music, because I do have a Nigerian playlist that's maybe almost 1,000 songs now, but culture isn't just about music; it's about like the customs and everything. And I recently just went to one of my cousin's Nigerian weddings, and it just really pushed me to really think, wow, I really need to jump into learning my culture a little bit more, and just kind of jump into learning who I am, where I come from. And I do have my good, strong Thai roots because my parents are the first ones to come to the States. So I do see a lot. But whether it's learning the language a little bit more better or even just, reading about Nigeria and things that happened in the past, I want to take the time to do that as well. And then the next thing that I want to do is just to continue on with, my self care, whether that's with skincare. I've recently learned how to cut my own hair, so I get my own fades. I haven't gone to a barber in quite some time. I've only really gone for like really big events, or whether that's weddings, actually just weddings that I've gone to a barber for. But for the last, I would say, maybe a little under a year. No, actually, I would say a year. I've been not going to a barber and just learning to cut my own hair, and just, really doing it has really made things even beneficial for me because I don't have to schedule to go see a barber. I can just weekly on Sunday just pull out the clippers and just cut my own hair and just look fresh as much as I can. And then also in the past, I really did not have a good skincare regimen or skincare routine. I was always just washing my face with soap, with bar soap. I would put actual hand lotion or body lotion onto my face. I didn't really have like face lotion versus body lotion. It was just really all bad. I was popping pimples. I wasn't drinking water. It was just all bad. Let's just say it was all bad. For the last couple of months, I've been taking a little bit more effort into my face. So making sure that I wash my face twice a day, making sure that I put on sunscreen because I wasn't putting on sunscreen at all, making sure that I just get all that gunk out, not touching my face, not popping pimples, and just really taking an effort to make sure that my skin just looked good. Your face is the first thing that people see, so I just want to make sure that my face was appealing not only to others but mainly for myself as well, because waking up in the morning and seeing a crusted face and seeing pimples pops and seeing dark spots that can be easily avoidable was not the best thing that I like seeing. Overall, like I said, these are some of the goals that I have for myself. There's some other ones here and there that I may make an updated video to kind of share with you guys some of the things that I want to learn for myself before I turn 30 in August this year. Probably do a follow-up video as well in a couple of months just to kind of see how I've been doing with these goals and let you guys know how I'm doing with these goals. But these are the biggest things that I want to do to work on myself, and I really hope that I can follow through this year. And I hope that having that to-do app and having this system can kind of help me stay consistent. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. In the comments, share some of the goals that you guys have for yourself as well. Are some of these goals relatable to you? Let me know in the comment section down below. I'll see you guys later. Peace. Have a nice day.